I do not yet know which part of the Elohim is in charge now. But you do know that Jehovah was only for a set of millennia. Like, a few bundles of thousands of years, like maybe two dozen thousand, like 25,000 years. And after that, the Elohim, right? Because we already took care of Genesis, where God is already speaking to the rest of the council and addressing them multiple times throughout the Old Testament, and primarily only in the Old Testament. We already acknowledged that when we say the Lord God, we're talking about a body, not just a physical body. Don't get thrown off by the sacrifice of Jesus representing the body of God, which is to say just one physical man. But the whole idea of God is multiplicity. Even when we reference the all, the highest form of God, we're still acknowledging simultaneously its involvement in the multiplicity of things and the myriad of things, being the all in all. The idea of all is impossible without the inclusion of multiplicity. What you have, though, are constraints being placed constantly from the moment creation is began, because this is the whole mythos and energy that Jehovah is coming under. Yes, Jehovah has parents, and I'll do some more research to get into another video of that, because right now the names escape me and I got them scrambled up as to who Jehovah's parents are. But Jehovah does have parents. He's a higher level Titan that's on the Yahweh level, so he's over what the current matrix is, or he was over it. You can sense that nature is decidedly feminine. The stuff that happens on the social scene, like Me Too movements and gender fluidity, these are manifestations of the female God form. Because 25,000 years before this one, when it was another female's turn in the Godhead, gender fluidity was expressed. And also the woman was in position of queen, not viewed as a second-class citizen under the grip of Rome and culture. The woman had a sovereign status that was in like kind or equal to the man. Because the idea of true sovereignty existed at the soul level. And what was considered power, title, or status was associated primarily with that individual's skill set and what their role was. Everyone had roles. When roles are properly defined, competition is no longer. When roles are properly defined, competition is no longer. So in the blurring of those lines, though, you have what we can call 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, just like the character Christian Grey, who had the sex torture pleasure chamber that he basically turned, who I forget what the girl's name was in the franchise. It's like Anastasia, something mystical, magical, just letting you see the link between wizardry, sorcery, and religion, to let you see the difference between religious ceremony and divination, like bridging gaps using these two elements. 50 Shades of Grey, you have bondage being one of the apparatuses that takes place in the Red Room, or whatever kind of room it was called. It was a room like where all of this stuff was. And the parallel that you can see going on right now with all of us, even if you wanted to just base it on biblical text, they say that we were born into sin, born into what? Bondage, born into BDSM, born into a master-slave relationship, born into a dominant sub relationship, Spiritual BDSM is what took place during the times, during this stretch of Jehovah's tenure as Yahweh. With the patriarchal charge, you did not have a strong push toward gender fluidity. If there was anything that sustained the gender fluidity of the former 25,000 year epic, it would have been kept under wraps, under the patriarchal energy, you understand, which is clearly over when you see what's being expressed now and on what levels they're being expressed on. I'm not here to say whether this is good or bad, but what I am here to do is point to some patterns that can help you see which energy we're under. Why is this important on a day-to-day basis? Because if you're born between ages, like a lot of us are who are still alive, you were born between ages. Unless you're like, I guess what, like 12 or 13, you would have had to been born like 2012 or later to be considered only on the feminine side of what came in. So you would not have even been born under the patriarchal Anu energy. You would have been coming into God being mother, God being female energy, which is what we're under now. But because it hasn't been the dominant energy for the last 25,000 years, it's been either relegated to paganism, categorized as Wicca and the like. But the feeling part of things has been removed for the mentality of things and the controlling and the acquisition of items and status. To feel things is to be magnetic. The feeling of things has more to do with darkness than light, because to feel and to pull is a magnet. You don't see magnets that are lights. It's not light that attracts. Light actually repels, because light can burn away. So in all of these 50 shades of gray, in this eternal gray area where you have room for infinite expansion, yet still be housed in the overall framework of whatever this spiritual grid is that stretches out throughout the omniverse. You still be a part of this no matter how high and how far and how wide you grow or stretch or expand. You'll still be inside of the framework of what we're calling omni. You will still be a part of all, whether you give your all or give none of yourself. You'll still be a part of the all. So this takes off all of the pressure to compete, and it gives you all of the encouragement to create. But you're conquering the gray area, and then now you have to redefine the narrative, because under the female energy is the exact opposite. We're not born under bondage. The female energy is nurturing. That's the mother energy, the one who instructs the child, leads the child. Is not necessarily the rule enforcer as much as she is the teacher of the understanding that comes with the obedience to the rules, showing you how to do it, leading you, walking you by the hand, acknowledging your feelings, giving you room to vent through all of the 50 shades of gray in what you thought was bondage, being bound and tied up to certain systems and perspectives and economic tax bracket levels, just being cornered off and quarantined off. So it makes that gray area the largest area between black and white, making black and white like this infinite chasm where relativity is almost completely lost between the two peoples on the right hand and on the left hand. See, at some point, those hands have to come together and work. They can't just stay open and separate. You can't just keep your arms open all day. But that's what happens with the demiurge when left separates from right and never reconnects. You will have a person with their arms held open when they need to be grasping their arms to catch something, to catch an idea, to catch their generation, their legacy, to catch their children, right? To catch their future. They gotta be able to grasp their hands closed in order to grip something. You gotta have the opening and the closing. You have to have both. Both are important. It's the timing of things, just like you gotta have male and female, just like you have to have different gender energies expressed in the Elohim Godhead. Because the council is expressed this way. It said in the beginning, God created them male and female. And if they're made in the image of God and God is plural, then that means that there are male and female God. You could put an S on the end of it if you want. Because I'm saying God plural when I say it like that. The Elohim consists of male and female. And this is easy to overlook when doctrine is dumped and piled onto you, because it'll distract you from the critical thinking necessary to be able to understand the codes soon as they come at you, so you won't be blinded by the veneer of whatever will come with a particular temple's energy. They might just be into the song and dance and charismatic movement, Pentecostal energy behind it, but not necessarily interested in revealing the true secrets about the kingdom. They may just want your energy and your 10%, or they may just want your obedience and your servitude for the sense of ego gratification. They may not really be coming to set the captives free like the Christ energy does. The Christ energy rewrites the narrative. The Christ energy works with the female energy. It's the Christ energy that led Jesus to say, I wish I could, like a mother hen, just spread my wings over you. It's the female energy that God is speaking through when he tells Solomon, I am Lady Wisdom and I am sister to common sense. Cry aloud for wisdom and understanding. Therefore get wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. To love oneself, that is wisdom. These are feminine concepts, principles. It's no less God, no less God than all of the creation, the fire, the protection, the nurturing, and the hunting exist in the same body, operating in different functions. To reconcile these is the manifestation of balance. So remain balanced. This is Super T Sigma with Sigma Program, and I thank you for your time and attention. Reaching is teaching. Continue along with your balance to vibrate high. Peace.